Hello all, hope you're doing well today. This is going to be an audio-only review and discussion, which is why the screen is black right now. If you would like to, you could put my voice on in the background as you do something else. If you do that, I would be much appreciative of that. I'm going to be talking about Jurassic World Chaos Theory today. Two warnings about this. Number one, this is going to be full spoilers, so I'm going to be talking about the show from the span of the beginning to the end. And the second thing is this is going to be unscripted. I'm going to try to give my unfiltered thoughts on this. If that sounds good to you, then let's proceed. So, Jurassic World Chaos Theory. I started watching this because I knew it was a sequel to Camp Cretaceous, which I had started, but it became clear to me pretty quickly that this was going to be a more mature series as opposed to Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, which seemed to be a little bit more for kids. My background on Jurassic Park is I have seen all the Jurassic Park movies and all the Jurassic World movies, and I started watching Camp Cretaceous, but it seemed like it wasn't really for me all that much, so I didn't finish it. But this had been a new show, and I was curious to check it out, so I started watching it, and I liked it pretty quickly. The characters seemed to be relatable, the themes seemed to be a little bit more mature, there was character development that I liked, and there were some serious themes that were being discussed as well. So I was really vibing with this show, and I have to give it praise because I do like it. However, I shut it off at the end in the last few seconds, and I need to talk about why that is, because this discussion is going to be more broadly about fandoms and how we should engage with content. When should we shut it off? When should we keep watching it? And I'll say first and foremost, I really don't like the sort of thing that I see online where people keep making negative reviews for the sake of making negative reviews. I believe if you don't like something, just shut it off. There's no reason to keep engaging with something if it's really not bringing you joy and you're really not enjoying it, because at that point, you're just creating hate content if you don't like something and you keep talking about how much you don't like it. So that is my MO. That is what I normally do. But because this show was gripping me so much, and because I was liking it so much, the thing that it did at the end really kind of got to me. And this is my second spoiler warning. I'm going to talk about it in like 3, 2, 1. Okay. At the end of this series, a character named Brooklyn, who the audience had spent the entire show believing to be dead, was revealed to be alive at the very end. And I did shut off the show when this happened. Now, as I said, I don't normally make reviews about content that I think is bad and I just keep talking about how bad it is. But this is something that I had enjoyed up until the final moment. And even then, I have to be candid and reveal the fact that I was basically pleading with the show to not do the thing that I very much sensed that it might do, which was reveal that Brooklyn was alive. And so I really just kind of cringed when this happened, and I started thinking a couple things. Number one, why did I cringe when this happened if it's something that I thought might happen? And number two, why did I want to talk about it so much if it's just something negative and it's a show I'm just going to ditch? Well, I think the reason is character development is really important to me. Emotional beats in shows that are mature are very important to me. But, why do I even want there to be a character who is killed off? After all, a character getting killed off is something that's horrible and sad, and people dying is a bad thing. So why would I want this to happen? Well, I really liked that the show was built on this because, while the character of Brooklyn getting killed is horrible, all of the things that happened afterward with character development and character trauma and the way they're expressing this and the way that the show is sort of built around this mystery with Brooklyn and why she died, all of that stuff was super interesting to me. All of that stuff I was really, really into. And I think when a show is made, there's sort of this agreement between the audience and the creators, where the creators kind of say, this stuff that you're enjoying, well, yes, it is fictional. It is real in the sense that the things that we're showing you are going to build off of each other and it's going to stick, and you're going to emotionally invest yourself in things that matter within the fictional universe of this show. I believe that is why people get invested in shows. And when the creators pull the carpet out from under you and say, actually this thing that you had assumed was real in the world and you not only built the logic of your understanding on, but you actually invested some emotional moments into as well, that thing is not real, it can feel like a little bit insulting. And I'm not saying that these people did anything immoral. I'm not personally affronted by them. Please don't harass them. these are perfectly nice people, I'm sure, and so I'm not saying they did something actually wrong, but I think for the sake of the show, it wasn't good for creating an enjoyable experience here. So when that is violated, like I said, it can feel a little bit insulting, and a twist ending can work, by the way. Some of my favorite films have twist endings. I'm sure you can think of some films that have twist endings. I'm not going to reveal them here because I don't want you to know that there's a twist ending going into it. It might ruin the experience. But you can think of some films that have some really great endings like that. And when that happens, it should feel to you like, oh my goodness, this changes the viewing experience and makes the world seem bigger. This makes the fictional world seem like there's a lot more to it, and not something that says, oh, well, this feels like I was tricked. This feels like the world is smaller now, and maybe the creators don't really respect my emotions and my intelligence all that much, which is kind of what the Brooklyn thing feels like to me. Because part of the reason it feels small, in my view, is that it's kind of cliche. I think these writers can come up with something better than that, than just saying, yes, the character that you thought was dead is not really dead, because that makes the world seem smaller. That makes it seem like the obvious twist is the natural conclusion, which is not the case in that world, I think. So that's why I really didn't like that thing with Brooklyn that happened, and I really kind of wish it wouldn't have. Because, like I said, character development beats were built on this, and while you can still feel empathetic for those characters, and that doesn't get taken away if Brooklyn is still alive, it kind of does, because when you really get to know a character, it feels almost like you are in that group with those characters, like you're emotionally invested with these characters, like you're part of that group that's mourning the loss of Brooklyn, and when the show suddenly says, actually, Brooklyn's still alive, well, some of that gets undermined a little bit. So that's why I really took issue with that. Now, maybe in season 2, if there's episodes that get released, I might go back and say, maybe I want to know why Brooklyn really lived. But honestly, guys, not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, but this is really, I think, how I'm thinking of this. It feels like it's going to be some sort of contrivance. She faked her own death, or someone else faked her own death, or it was a big misunderstanding, or something like that, that, guys, we've seen a lot of times. And, you know, I know that I'm sort of going into a lot of detail about this children's or family show, and it's not really in my demographic. I'm older than the intended demographic, probably. So why am I even bothering with this? Well, children's shows and family shows, obviously they're not going to be the same level of maturity as shows that are intended for just adults, but I believe media, all other factors being equal, should be good. I think, as I said, that these writers are better than this, and I think they could have done something better. So it was just a disappointment to me, and maybe it'll improve in season 2, but it's probably not going to have me on board with it. I still have to praise this show, though. I still have to praise the dinosaur characters, the human characters, even down to the music and the opening sequence. A lot of that stuff is really cool, and I have to be honest about this aspect of it, though, and why I didn't enjoy that part of it. But here's hoping that in the future they'll make something that's even better. I think they were on the right track with this. I think Jurassic World Chaos Theory is probably better than, honestly, any of the Jurassic World movies. So, yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction, and I hope we have more of that. But in the meantime, guys, I just really can't give an honest review without talking about this negative element, or at least it's a negative element in my opinion. So please let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe my opinion is not close to any of the rest of the fandom. I have no idea. But I would love to know what you think. But until next time, guys, I'll see you later, and thanks for watching, and let me know what you think down below. Bye-bye.